So, welcome to Dangerous Knowledge, Breaking the Matrix. My name is Jaden Fox, and I've been looking for a while for an avenue that I can share advanced things with. Um, Most of the people that I work with are beginners, and I'm getting them from 101 to 102. And I'm looking for a way to start with like 1,000 level knowledge and go up from there. I'm looking for people who are warrior types, like hyper advanced, hyper aware, and really gifted, really capable. You just don't necessarily maybe even know the gifted capable part yet because you haven't practiced it enough, or you have practiced it and you're like, I'm good. And I'm like, yeah, you are, let's go. So I'm looking to do in this channel kind of a download of, well, this program will be high level overview, just kind of the big picture of things, and then I'll get more specific as we go along. um, Warning for people who are beginners, this is maybe not useful to you, or maybe it is. I don't know. I'll let you decide that. But this is advanced stuff, and many people who are advanced just need to know, like, what the fuck is going on. And they just need some clarity. They just need some intel. And that's what I'm here to do, is to share some intel. Um, just kind of a note is just a generic note. Never trust any source. That includes this one. Take everything you hear, including the stuff that's going to come out of my mouth, and do your own fact checking. Check it against your own intuition and your own internal research. Don't trust me. Listen to you and check everything. You'll find over time there are certain materials that are more valid aligned with you and other materials that are less valid aligned with you. And just kind of keep going after the ones that are valid and aligned for you. So if you find this valid and aligned for you, all right, congratulations. So about me, I came here 14, 15 years ago now, as a conscious walk in. Came in wicked tangled, in poverty, in deep struggle, and not having a freaking clue what's going on about anything. Bought into the whole new age false light movement. Oh, love and light. It's just about love and light. And got burned really hard and realized, okay, maybe that's not useful. And I've been researching increasingly deeply, especially recently, kind of did deep dive into the Matrix, partially by choice, partially not by choice. I got their attention, and they were eager to dance with me, shall we say? Uh, it took me about 6 months to dig out of that. And while I'm continuing to find ways to exit the Matrix for myself and everybody, um, I've uncovered a shit ton of information about what makes the matrix tick, and how things are functioning. And that's the kind of stuff that you probably have your own intuition about, and I want to back that up or give you words for things that you perceive or feel, but you can't quite wrap your head around it because it seems so weird. That's the goal of this program, is to, it's just my point of view, but it gives you another person's perspective or viewpoint on the same thing, and you can start to go, oh, okay, yeah, I recognize that, and I recognize that, and it helps you to create a worldview with the content that you know. Um, so the I'm not here to convince anyone. I don't care if you believe me or not. I really don't. Um, do what you like. And I'm not saying this is the way. I'm saying this is what I perceive based on my background, my research, and my explorations. And the things that I share are things that I've validated already with other advanced people who are like, yeah, that's what I get too. Okay, so I try not to stick in off the top of my head like new exploration. I'm looking to put in validated content. But again, check everything. that's that's my disclaimer there. Um, so high level overview. This whole planet has been hijacked. Everything top to bottom. I have not found anything that is not corrupted to some level. Um, the authentic planet itself is compromised. What most people interact with is at the kind of surface level unconscious if you're actually connecting to the authentic planet. But there's a synthetic planet that's projected, the matrix is overlaid over top of this planet. Many people who go in and go, hi, planet, are connecting with the synthetic version and not the authentic version. If you're talking to the planet and you're hearing words, you're talking to the synthetic version. The authentic planet, that is down there and it is aware. I can't say to what degree. I've had limited conversations with, or conversation isn't the right word, um, communications with it. Um, and they're all by feel and it's all through body. There's nothing that goes into head. And there's nothing that comes out as words. It's all energy communications that body is very familiar with. Like you feel the information. That's more the the authentic planet. The synthetic planet is overlaid, projected, and it's pretending to be the real one. The story there that they're selling is that the authentic planet is actually died. It's left, it's gone, and we rescued what was here, and we're now helping humanity to grow and to better itself. That's the bullshit. And that's what you're going to first bump into, the average person bumps into when they tap into Mother Earth. They tap into the synthetic version of it, mostly because walk in bodies have been pre programmed and also hijacked. And I'll get more into that at some point. So, if you're looking, my interesting point of view, there is nothing here that is not corrupted. You can look at some things like big corporations, uh, Monsanto's, and those things, the big oil, big pharma, and you can see and feel the corruption really deep. Governments, yeah, um, all religions, all institutions, anything that has a hierarchical power structure to it in any way, shape, or form has been corrupted by interference going after the top people so that they can maintain access to that corporation organization structure. Um, so the naive people will say, no, everything here is just love and light. Everything's normal. The people who really see what's going on are going, man, this place is really fucked up. Like Prison Planet, when I first heard that phrase, I was like, no, that's not right. This is a healthy, vibrant, free planet to express your creativity. That was in my New Age days. Not true. Prison Planet is more accurate. Sorry. It depends on who you are. Not everybody here is. Uh, I'll go deeper at another time. Um, Walk-in bodies have been pre-programmed. Um, it used to be that walk-in bodies were created just a short time before you contacted the planet, said, "Hey, I want to come in here and explore this, that, and the other thing." And the planet would go, "Cool, we'll make you a body. We'll let you know when it's ready." Usually about a week later, 2 weeks later, boom, your body's ready. You pop in. You come in with no memories. You're just like you do your thing. That's how it used to be. Now you come in, they make you a body, that body gets deeply programmed by the matrix first. That body gets made often years in advance and worked over by the matrix, pre-harvested. So the cost of programming your body is actually worked off by your body before you even get here. So yeah, and the structure is that of what I'm calling sponsors, because that's the way they think of themselves. Um, I'm not going to go into too much depth here. I've got another video that goes into more depth about this, but um, those sponsors believe that they created you and they created your body. The truth is, you created your body in conjunction with the planet and creation. Um, but the story they will tell you is they created your body and you owe them something. And you're using their resources because they put fake memories in your head that aren't your memories. And when you rely on those memories as yours, you're now using the matrix's content. And most people are snagged by that. Like, I've yet to meet somebody who's not snagged by those false memories that they've stuck in. The programming that's most disturbing is dormant trauma bonding. This is like high grade, military level, or the deepest cult you could most organized, programmed cult you could imagine. It goes deeper than that. It's intense programming. Most of it is dormant. If you start to misbehave, they start activating some of it to level 2. If you really kick up a storm, learn the hard way, uh, they will kick it in full. And all of a sudden, your body doesn't belong to you. It is owned by the Matrix and responds only to the Matrix's commands. Hardcore shit. We've got a way of getting out of most of it. Well, by the time you hear this, it might be getting out of all of it, but work in progress still. It's really rich, and really tangly and bizarre to the max. If you're thinking, wow, things are really messed up in my body in some way, it's the programming that does that. Your body's been programmed to not act normally. And the more they want to turn on that programming, the more access they have to your body. We have found ways of getting out of it. I'm here to tell you about it. So, um, so the other thing that is useful to understand is your consciousness, or your body's consciousness, has been fractured into segments. There's the main working part, and then you have one, two, or more fractured segments where content is put in. They used to rely on that a lot. They're now using a different system more. So my sense of that is I it's not as useful, but I want you to understand that you just don't have, your body has been prepared to handle you and take care of you, from the matrix's perspective. Um, the bodies were created several, yeah, I said that. Bodies programmed as a sleeper agent, basically. When they want to turn on the programming, all of a sudden your body becomes very different than anything you've ever experienced before. It was deeply disturbing when it first happened to me, and took me an amazing amount of time to figure it out, and an even longer time to dig out of it. But we've now tracked how to do that, and we can support other people to do that. Um, so the yeah, so the if you do lose access to your body, it's kind of like it just doesn't listen to you anymore, or it'll listen to you in the moment, and as soon as you stop holding your attention on what you're asking your body to do, body reverts back to matrix. So it sort of listens temporarily and then erases, and like it's not working to your favor. Um, Again, very few people experience that. That's the troublemakers, and that's why I want to let you know. um, it's the dance that you do. You want to be intelligent about how you work with them, and they are beyond clever. They are way, way beyond clever. They have uh, AI that they use to develop this shit. It's not as advanced as the AI we have now, but it's programmed specifically to fuck with human or fuck with these bodies. So it's very talented at that. Everything in this reality is a mind fuck. I don't think I found anything here that is 100% true. What they tell you, question everything about this reality. Nothing here is 100% true. Most of it is completely fabricated, like 100% fabricated, not real at all. And it's more like your body has been programmed with those same distortions. So your body doesn't see them. You, as an aware being, notice things. You're like, oh, something there that isn't what it appears to be, or that isn't right. If you do clearing or get the body's unconsciousness out of the way, you'll start to see what's behind there. Most things are like that. It's not the way it appears to be. Um, the memories you were given when you came here, and I use that word very specifically, you were given all the memories you have when you walked in, and you're like, wow, I remember a whole lifetime. It's all bogus. All of it is bogus, with the exception of some of the memories that your body has just before you walked in. Some of those can be valid. Um, and that some of those that could be as much as a year before you walked in. Like I worked with my body remotely for about a year before I actually came in. Those memories have chunks of validity to it, but most of the history is 100% fabricated. 100% fabricated. I've got a video on that. Looks like that. Walk in fundamentals. Your memories are fabricated. Um, the gist of it, the overall gist is what they did was they took, or my best understanding of it is they took. Do you notice when you look at the people in this reality, there's a lot of people who they don't feel like people, like they feel like empty people or hollow people, and they're just like running program, they're running script, they do the same thing over and over and over again, and they're quite happy about it. I call them NPCs because it fits the paradigm the most. That comes from the video game world. Basically, it's implying it's it's not a real player, it's a computer generated character. What I'm saying is about at least half or around half the people on this planet are computer generated characters or matrix generated characters. You don't have to think computer, but they're 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 running software that has them wake up in the morning, go to work, come home, watch TV, eat, go to bed, morning, go back to work. Think Lego movie or think the fall Free Guy movie. That those are good references. So what they did to generate a history and to give you documentation was actually take snippets of NPCs, take them offline, and you embody that their identity. The identity you come in with is not your authentic identity. It's an identity that was handed to you by the matrix, and they're hoping you'll buy it and own it and use it, and then think of the way IP, intellectual property, is handled here. It's like if you're using intellectual property, then you have to pay royalties. Those royalties come through harvesting and uh, the matrix owning you. The matrix owns you to the degree that you use the matrix content. It's not 100%, but it's that's a way of thinking about that. So your memories are paid to use. if you use those memories, you are paying in some way that you don't comprehend yet. If you haven't noticed that yet, you want to start digging into that. Again, watch that video. Um, the so the core memories of your birth story, your family, parents, education, career, spouse, key things that get documented, that has a certificate involved. Those things are typically NPC memories that have been edited, spliced together, and stuck inside your body's head, along with a slew of bullshit to disempower you. So, in this video, I show you how to tell the difference. I'm not going to go into that here. You'll find there is valid content in memories, but it's still fabricated. So about 25% of the content, or that's being generous. It could be 15 to 25% of the content, is actually the authentic planet gives you information about your body and about how it actually functions, and what, not how it functions, how it was put together specifically for you. So the authentic planet knows what it is you want to experience, and it creates a body custom for you. Your body was created no more than a couple of years before you walked in. That the whole story you received about being born and going through childhood and all that, completely fabricated. It is not from your body. It is from another source inserted into your body. But Planet puts in memories in there. Planet hands memories that get inserted in there to creation, and those memories give you ideas about what your body is skilled and experienced with, and which helps you to understand who you are. Um, for instance, if your body is skilled communicator, then you are a skilled communicator. Like the planet gives your body's capacities that match yours, and then interference, or your sponsors or matrix, however you want to word that, um, looks at the planet content and tries to neutralize it, tries to make it that you don't benefit from that. So it gives you all these negative stories. But the planet story is valid, but fabricated. So it's just information. The information is accurate. The context it's shown to you in, completely fabricated because it's part of a storyline. So that one's tricky, but with experience you'll make sense of that. Um, Creation inserted some things, small amount, maybe 5%, little snippets of things as it was building your body. It took planet content, it took the matrix's content, put those together, created this fictitious story, and then inserted little snippets in there to help you to see truth. And when you tap into those, they feel magical, but there's no depth to them. Whereas the planet memories, you can tap into them and there's a lot of depth and there's a lot of rich information about what your body has accomplished in the past and what your body's capable of doing. You won't find that in the creation memories, but the creation memories are inspiring. So planet memories are uplifting and empowering. Creation memories are inspiring, also empowering. But you'll notice most of your memories are not inspiring and empowering because they're not, they're inserted by your sponsors. Your sponsors know who you are as a spirit. They know who you are as a creator. And if you told the planet, hey, I want to come in and do this, they know what your intended purpose is. If you gave them a fictitious story when you came in, then they know less. So they're not really intelligent, but they're good at harvesting information from other sources. So if you lied coming in, then you probably are fairly clear. the sponsors don't know a whole lot about you, and you're better off. But most of us come in, we're just naive and really honest, and they nail us. So the sponsor memories are basically just the NPC memories and other memories spliced in between that are designed to give you a fake history and basically disempower you. The sponsor memories that are not NPC memories, the ones that are kind of in between the NPC memories, they're they're the core of all the things you did wrong, all the things you did bad, all the things you're incapable of, all the limitations you have, all the things that you've tried 1,000 times and failed, so might as well not even keep trying anymore. All that bullshit are 100% fabricated lies. All of it. It's just there to throw you off your course and to get you to be so disorientated that you can't dig out of the matrix before they grab hold. In this case, they're not going to grab hold, and I'll talk more about that later. So this stuff is mostly depressing, highly fragmented. So you tap into any of the sponsor content, and it's surface level. It's like little TikToks or little still images of things, but there's no depth. Your brain has to make up shit, and your brain has been programmed to make up pieces. So if you notice there's a piece here and a piece here, and you go, well, that's really interesting, those don't connect, this doesn't seem valid, your brain will right away go, oh, well, no, that's valid because, and it'll make up some story to connect A to B. But they're not really connected. Don't listen to the bullshit your brain tells you. Your brain is corrupted. Your brain mental system is corrupted. You need to go by intuition 100%. The brain stuff is where the programming is. And there's a lot of programming. Um, so the no other being or spirit has used your body prior to your arrival. That's one of the things I more recently figured out. I used to think, because I looked at those stories and I saw them as valid, so I used to think that, well, it must be there were other beings in the body and I'm using my body, right? Like how else? Your brain just goes, all bodies are created at birth, little baby, and then mature through the way that you see in this reality. Not true. Do some do that? Yes. Did your body do that? No. Ask your body. Ask your body those weird questions, and your body will give you authentic answers unless your body's taken over by the matrix already. Then asking your body is not going to give you anything useful. So no other spirit used your body. It was created by you in part, along with planet creation, for you, custom. However, the Matrix stuck their fingers in there and they altered all kinds of things. They usually make you older than you want. They usually make your body more broken down than you asked for. Like they embed a lot of issues depending on how dangerous they think you are. Um, thing about dangerous, I want to make a point about this is you when I came in, I was who I was. Like you could look at now and go, well, of course the Matrix is going to fuck with you because you're here, telling people all the truth, or that the Matrix is bullshit, and like, so of course they're going to attack you, right? Like you can look at that. When I came in, I was playing nicey nicey with everything. I wouldn't hurt a fly. Maybe a fly I would, but like for the most part, I was one of those passive. I'm not going to hurt anything, and they abused me something fierce. The thing to understand is the matrix knows what you're capable of. Not in all cases, but in many cases or in some cases. And it's not who you are that is a threat to them, or who you're being that's a threat to them. It's who you're capable of being. So when I first came into this world, in this reality, shortly after my walk in, there was some alien energy that was very quick to point out. He had some name for me, and I was like, what did you call me? And they're like, well, we're not supposed to tell you. Yeah, what did you call me? the destroyer of all worlds. I was like, oh, that kind of freaked me out at the time. Now I'm like, yeah, I am a destroyer of synthetic worlds and interference. That's just kind of what I've gotten into doing now. They knew that in advance. Somehow, don't ask me how. They knew that in advance. And so they prepared for me, and they would not let, they were merciless with me. It's not because of I'll put it in your context. It's not because of what you're doing. It's because of what you're capable of doing. So it's like, even if you're not living up to your expectations, they're still going to abuse you. You have basically two choices: either to step up and embody your capacities, gifts, and do what you came here to do, or leave. And leaving is a valid option. I just want to say that straight out. Leaving here, I'm going to call it suicide. Leaving here is a valid option. This is not a happy, pretty place. There are people I've met who um, did not come in prepared, and they do not have enough strength or background, and they just get eaten alive. And it just isn't fair, my interesting point of view. But welcome to the planet. um, so, all planetary recorded history should be taken highly suspect at best. Um, Most of the historical things that I've found are either partially fictional or 100% fictional, at least relative to this world and this reality. The Matrix has brought in a lot of content from other realities. So, like for instance, caveman era, dark ages, witch burnings, many of the wars, even the religions, they're true in other worlds, and they're transported here. So some of them you can tap into the content and you're like, Jaden, you don't know what you're talking about. That's true. Ask, is that true in this reality, this planet, this authentic planet, not the synthetic one, or is this real in another world somewhere? Most of it's from another world somewhere, and it's been transported or brought here and installed as if it's truth. Don't trust any history, and even you can put that into science. Don't trust science, don't trust religions. They're all corrupted, they're all distorted, and most of the crap comes from other locations and has been brought here. But they made it sound like it's been here for thousands of years. My best understanding is the Matrix has only been here for about 50 years, tops. 50 years. Yet they've created this fictitious, long ranging story. When you control the reality, you can say anything you want. Who's, what can they do about it, right? Um, so this reality has been constructed to hide the truth of the magical reality that we remember being here. So there is a magical reality in the authentic planet, but it's been kind of overlaid with all this mundane and limiting negative stuff to suppress it. So if you've been here before, and many of us have, that's why we're here now, and you remember the way it used to be, that's true. Compared to this weird menagerie of odd things, most of it is fictitious. It's not true. What to do with that? I'll let you decide. I'm just telling you my interesting point of view about it. Majority of people here are NPCs run by Matrix programming. Think Free Guy or Westworld, both of which, if you haven't seen, Westworld is a series, at least a couple episodes, so you get a feel for it. And Free Guy, really deep. It's showing you things about this reality. It's not just a cute little story. My interesting point of view. Matrix players. Overall, my best understanding of the Matrix is that they're cosmic traveling parasites. energetic, psychic, mental parasites. Um, it appears to be that they've created this master system that is pretty accurate at taking over worlds, and they have even franchised it out. Like there are hundreds, thousands of worlds that have been colonized or taken over by this same strategy. They've done their homework. They know what they're doing, but they don't understand infinite beings. They don't understand creation. They don't understand authentic spirit, though they'll pretend they're masters with the spiritual realm. They have no fucking clue how it works. They're trying to get an understanding and a knowing and access to who you are and what you can do. They're trying to get to know how you think, where your magic comes from, where your source comes from. By the way, your source is not from here. Your source is from what I call the infinite realms. You're from out there. You're not sourced locally. So your energy has nothing to do with the planet. Your energy of you, the being, is sourced from outside, and you are infinitely sourced. You don't run through limitation the way things in this reality run through limitation. Um, so the other thing so recognize that this is a business for them. They're in this for the money and for the research of trying to figure out how to become a creator being like you are. So they have a variety of things that they're doing here. They come from an inverted reality from ours, and they're trying to convert this reality from a more of a utopian magical reality into a dystopian reality. They're going to fail in this world. They have succeeded tremendously in other worlds, but this world is not going to succeed. Um, but that's their everything is backwards in their world. So what is good to you is bad to them. What is bad to you is good to them. They're 100% inversion. They My interesting point of view, they don't belong in this reality. They're the antithesis of everything that we know to be true about the magical planet that we remember here. That still is here, but it's kind of covered over. Um, so they pretend to be creator beings, but they can't create shit. They require creator beings like you to create what they need. So what they do is they squish you or do things to mess with you to generate negative energy in your world because you're always creating 24/7, or at least when you're awake. I don't know about when you're asleep. I don't know. But you're creating that. They can't use your positive creations, but they can use your negative creations. So they're constantly poking you into fear, anxiety, depression. They need those negative creations. Those energies they can take and repurpose and build a world based on the negativity that you generate. Congratulations. And I generate. So the it's important to recognize that they will tell you a million things and how powerful and how capable they are and how they could kick your ass and they could destroy this whole world at the blink of an eye. They can't do shit, but they're brilliant at mind fucking. Absolutely top of the charts, masterful mind fuckery. Completely masterful. Don't underestimate their capacities to mess with your head. You'll learn if you haven't already. They're brilliant at it, um, and they have a lot of practice. So, to them, humanity, especially aware creators, are a prized resource. Think like oil, timber, lumber, minerals, like you're something to harvest. This is hard to hear, but we as aware beings are being managed like farm animals. Think dairy cows. They want to keep you healthy enough so they can harvest the milk from you, your positive, your negative creations. They, but not so healthy that you're going to go leave their field. They need you to stay on the farm, so they do everything they can to keep you contained and keep you um, limited so that you don't leave the farm. But and they want to keep you healthy, but they don't need you very healthy. They need you unhappy to create the negative stuff. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I resisted that one for a long time, but it became painfully obvious the deeper you look at what's going on. Um, they're a scarcity debt based system, and they're strong hierarchical dystopian power structure. Like everything in their world is about power and wealth. And I'll go a little deeper into that further down. So it's kind of like if you look at the negative examples in this world of corporations, that's their structure. You look in the negative world of, say, religions, that's their structure. Um, it's this debt scarcity driven thing. Again, it's the opposite of this abundant, authentic reality. They're a debt based system. They trade in debt. They don't trade in currency. They trade in debt. So it's backwards. Um, they're not concerned about the minions, right? Like you could take out a minion or two, and they're like, oh, that was cool. Do that some more, and we'll throw some more in there. It's kind of like um, ants in an anthill. Like you squish like 3 or 4 ants that are on your kitchen counter, um, and don't think you've made any impact to the anthill. You need to function at a bigger level if you want to actually impact them. The thing that I've learned, they're very sensitive to losing money or power. It's about the only thing they're sensitive to. Anything else, they're like, they just laugh at you. It's like, yeah, you think you're doing things, you're so silly. But you go after their money or you go after their power in their world, in their reality, in their way, not this world's money, it has nothing to do with this world. Um, you get their attention really quick and you can create change. They're in a scarcity economy, everything is like, how can we get moving forward before we go broke or before we run out of resources? And that's what's happening right now is they're going broke and they're running out of resources, partially because there are aware creators like me who are helping that process along. And part of it is just they have done such a lousy job here that they are kind of cutting their own throat in ways, and they're squandering their own resources. So everything about what they do is illusion and deceit. Period. Not a word they tell you is true. Nothing. Oh, I'm here to help you. I'm here to save you. I'm here to do this. I'm here to do that. All bullshit. It's all lies mixed with truth. There's little truth in there, but when you go down deeper, it's just pure lies, pure manipulation. They'll use any illusion, any lie to snag you. They don't care. They don't have ethics. They don't have principles other than how do I get the most resources and how do I power over or enslave everything that I need for my purpose. That's their function. They specialize in spiritual and power, money, fame illusions. So if you're in a if you're in one of these worlds where you're like, oh, this world is all such a pretty place, they'll fluff you with those illusions while they're stealing all kinds of things energetically from you. And you learn those things the hard way. I bought every illusion they had at least once or twice or three times over before it's like, fuck, they did it again. All right, I'm not going to let that happen again. And they still find other ways to do it sometimes. So it's very humbling. um, a big useful piece of intel. They're intensely arrogant, self-righteous, 100% confident that they will succeed in co-opting, taking over this planet reality, even though things here are not going to plan for them. Um, the last, the if you were there standing over the very last entity, synthetic entity representing the matrix, everything else was dead, gone, and you had one left there, and you were just about to kill it, it will say, "We've won. You're going to lose." That's how arrogant they are. They don't see what's real, and that's their biggest blind spot, and it is and will be their demise. The sketch Monty Python, The Black Knight, um, "'Tis but a scratch, but a flesh wound," right? Like, and they're hacking this knight apart, arms, legs off, and it's like, "You can't touch me." Like it's if you haven't seen that, it's a really good reference. So there's two main camps here. There's the gods and the aliens, archons. They work on the same team, and or if they work for the matrix, but they have competing strategies. They do compete with each other, but there are places where they cooperate. In the sponsor system, for reasons I don't yet comprehend, they will cooperate and take turns, which is so not them. So there's something structurally that forces them to do that. But um, the way to think about it is they're beings who are basically saying, "We're gods. We created you. We created this reality. We created everything under the sun." Um, uh, Anything you've ever heard from Christianity or Hinduism or what's the other one? No, any of the other ones, for the most part. There's a couple that are less corrupted, but any of the major religions, no. Like, that's that same story. "I am the God. There are no other gods, and I've created everything." But under that top god, there are smaller gods, and under that there are smaller gods, and under that there's smaller gods, and under that there's angels and demons. So angels, demons, demonic, satanics, they're all part of the same team. It's good cop, bad cop, all illusion, all bullshit. It's all the same thing. The core thing for gods is power. Um, they actually don't pay their people. They give them uh, power rankings that let them move up the hierarchy, so you're closer to your god. That's how they function. Um, so they're looking for power. So they come from a different spin or a different focus. Basically, they created the New Age spiritual religion, which is basically just rebranded Hinduism, by the way. If you haven't noticed that, it's obvious the deeper you dig in it, but like, it's just Hinduism made New Age fluffy. Um, and that's specifically to snag aware people, because it talks to core things. But all the religions are all matrix things. Um, there's a couple that are less matrixy, but it's just not that important. So that the second category are the archons, aliens. Archon just means leader in, I don't know, some language, Greek or whatever. I don't know. So the alien perspective isn't "we created your reality." It's "we bring you cosmic wisdom, all knowing. We were here, and we're here to save you from yourself. Join our cause." They're about money. They're about income. So you see them in corporate structure, large corporate structure, impersonal corporate structure, that, like, the Monsantos of the world and the big oils of the world and the big pharmas of the world. They're that's their model. That's where that comes from. You're watching that being expressed in those corporate structures, because the people at the top are taken over by these guys. That's where that comes from. Um, so their goal is resource extraction, wealth consumption, or wealth creation, with no care for external natural resources or existence. The aliens are quite happy to wipe this planet of every mineral, every living thing, until it's just barren nothing and no power, no energy left. Then they move on to another world. That's the game. They won't succeed in this world, but they've succeeded in many other worlds. They're then hybrid alien gods. They'll be alien or god, but they're more dual. There'll be god groups that do function generating income, and there are alien groups that do function in collecting power objects and focusing on what seems like magical or synthetic magic constructs. So it's not totally black and white, but uh, it it's useful to explore with that. Major overall interference activity. Um, it's high grade psychological warfare. Uh, Anyone who tells you anything other than that doesn't see what Jaden sees, has not really looked deep into what's going on. Um, they are masterful with mindfuckery, and I've said this before, so I'm not going to abuse it anymore. Uh, they can't do things to you physically for the most part. They can mess with you energetically, but what they do mess with intensely is your mind. And that's why thinking is, throw it in the garbage. It's you're just opening yourself up for interference. Thoughts you get can be completely 100% inserted in your voice. They can make it sound like you thinking out loud in your head, but it's not yours. They can read your content, they can watch your patterns, and then they can mimic those patterns and replicate them, and even be leading about them. They'll lead you to uh, come to an outcome that you wouldn't arrive at, and it's usually a bogus outcome. Um, and the whole time you think it's you processing and thinking about things. Nope. It so don't trust your head, don't trust your mind, trust your gut, trust your intuition, trust. Yeah. Um, the average. This world is one big mind fuck. If you think any of this stuff is 100% real, you're in the mind fuck. As I was. I'm not making it wrong. It's almost impossible to not be in it at some level. But the further you go, the more you start to see. The average unaware walk-in, as long as you stay small, buy the illusions, and keep pulling yourself down, like making yourself wrong, all that kind of stuff, and buying the illusions, you'll get minor ongoing harassment, but life is minimally enjoyable. You can get away with it. So the average unaware, non really powerful person, you can get away with just ignoring everything Jane's talking about and just playing along the game of life here, the illusion of life, and you'll be okay. Um, but now the capable beings, the beings who are naturally powerful, who are naturally strong, who are naturally aware, you can't get away with it, because unless you lied coming in and you've gotten away with that, um, you can't. That they will attack you, and they will um, basically torture and harass you as long as you're here, whether you are acting strong or powerful or not. So it really is stay here, become aware, and learn to fight back and step into your sovereignty, or leave. I It sounds weird to have somebody tell you that, but that's somebody needs to say these things out loud, and I'm going to do it. Um, the more aware walk-ins get supervision and harassment. They don't want awareness. They don't want people to see through the illusions that they've created. They don't like what I do. And to some degree, they don't have too much choice anymore, but they still exert influence from time to time to let me know they weren't happy I just shared that stuff with others. So it's a thing. um, so, how to tell when interference is active in your world? If you're feeling good, you're feeling you. If you're feeling funky, crappy, depressed, anxious, uh, putting yourself down, making yourself wrong, interference is in your world. It's never you who make you wrong, ever. It's always interference doing things to cause you to make yourself wrong. That one takes a bit to get, but the more experience you get here, you start to notice these patterns. When you're feeling good, your reality is quiet. When garbage is in your reality, entities, egregores, weird stuff messing about, you feel crappy, and it's deliberate. So how you manage that, totally up to you. What I do is I seek to learn how they do what they do and clear it. But again, until you completely exit the matrix, they're going to keep trying new strategies to keep messing with you. The biggest thing you can do is learn that you aren't wrong, you aren't bad, you haven't done anything wrong. You aren't the pathetic, incapable loser that your memories tell you you are. All that is bogus, or that the interference, the active interference in your world, and the thoughts that get dropped into your head that you're not sourcing. That's all bogus. That's all interference doing things, not you. Um, the other thing I want to leave you with on this topic is, if you feel this high frequency, it's almost like synthetic water flowing through your body. It comes in a wave, and it feels light, but it feels weird. It's synthetic. It's a synthetic frequency. It's not a natural feel good energy. If you feel what I call a high frequency feel good or false light energy, it's being used as either a cover for something they're doing underneath, or those energies are 100% synthetic. So you get this wave of good feeling, but synthetic energy that has you question it. You're like, what is that? When you feel that, if you accept that, there's programming, and there's all kinds of synthetic programming and synthetic lockdowny kinds of things in there that they can, that when you go, oh, that feels good, I like that, you just bought it. Congratulations, it's yours to keep. If you feel it come in and you're like, no, out, and you just move it right along, then it's not yours to keep. So you want to pay attention to false light content. It's like a honeypot trap. It seems like good stuff, and they will offer you any good stuff that you're willing to accept because it's bogus. But underneath there is the programming or conditioning or imprinting or whatever they're trying to do to mess with your reality. Um, mm, mm, So that's high level overview. There's like, I could talk for 10 years straight and still not run out of content. It's so rich, what they're doing. But I want to know, what is it that you want more on? Some of the things that are kind of on my mental list of how the sponsor system works. You need to understand that if you want to get any wiggle room in this reality. Understand that you're always creating and how not to create against yourself. Core interference strategies, advanced interference strategies, and actually the true nature of your body can be really, really helpful. So, what topics do you want to go more into? Leave a comment below. Um, the other thing I want to say is there's a link in the description. If you resonate with this content and you are one of those people of like, I'm here to fucking change this stupid shit. Like this is going to change. It doesn't have to sound like that, but if you're like a warrior person by nature, and I never thought I was, but the more I step into who I am, it's who I am. Okay, who would have known, right? Well, Matrix knew that, but so if this like grabs you and you're like, yeah, I want to, do sign up for the mailing list that I have. I'm not going to use it for sales. I'm not using it for promotion. No spam. Um, I don't even know if I'll ever send you anything on it, but I want to be able to send you um, uh, content that doesn't get made public. There's some things that are so sensitive that it would mess with other people, or if the Matrix found out that I was sharing it, they would find ways to take that down or what have you. So there's content that I can't be public with that I want to share personally, and I can do that through that list. That's my sole thing. Again, I'm not here for you to follow me, buy my stuff. I don't care. I'm here to uh, encourage you to step into who you came here to be and do your thing in your way, however that way is. It doesn't need to be Jaden's way. You do your way. That's my goal, is to support you. I can't do this alone. And the truth is, nobody does anything alone. So this is my way of encouraging people to work together, not work together, to share resources and content. So if you have questions, do drop it in the comment below. Um, and yeah, so I have nothing else to say for now. So, thank you. We'll catch you in the next video. Bye.